Hey guys, Jordan from Condo here. Time for a quick Toronto housing market update. Haven't done one of these in a couple of weeks, maybe a month, something like that. So wanted to run through some of the numbers here. First thing I want to open up with here is a what I think should win Tweet of the Year award. Tweet from my friend Vass here. Tagged me. Says, Skrinko said in December of 2021, condos will rip. Stars were aligned. Here we are now, 30% price gain in 2 months. So just want to take a moment here, recognize Vass's genius in recognizing my genius, or rather my crystal ball. Look, obviously I'm kidding. Nobody has a crystal ball, right? But conditions looked really, really well for condos to run. And if you've been following my videos, if you've been a subscriber for some time, you know I've been calling for the condo market to run because we're seeing such market dislocation. So this unit here that he posted is in Scarborough, 2-bed, 2-bath. It was purchased in November of last year for $620,000. And then he sold it, the buyer of this sold this in February of this year for $805,000. So he's up $185,000 in 2 months' time on a condo in Scarborough. So that's a 30% price increase in just 2 months. Here's a quick example from a client of mine. So a client of mine actually bought this unit. We bought this back in January of last year. So we paid $810,000 for this. My client, was looking at the market. He thought it was the bottom of the market. I kind of tended to agree with him. So we bought this unit for $810,000, $1,000 a square foot in Corktown, which at the time I thought was a great deal. And it looks like we were right because we just sold it for $995,000. Now, funny enough, we listed it to try to get a bidding war. So we underlisted it at $899, thinking the unit was worth roughly $1 million. And on offer night, nobody showed up, despite there being 40 showings in the week and tons of people requesting status certificate. Well, it turned out that the 3 buyers who did want to offer were all first-time home buyers and didn't offer specifically because they thought the price of the unit was going to be over $1 million. And they couldn't go over $1 million because they were getting insured mortgages, which lends credence to the thought process a lot of us have right now, where we think it's a possibility that they're going to increase the maximum purchase price for insured properties up to $1.25 million, and that'll add a new pricing floor for buyers who could afford that, but need an insured mortgage and so aren't bidding on those properties that they think are going to sell over $1 million. So it could actually be highly inflationary for housing prices if they go ahead with that. Here's the average selling price for a 1-bedroom condo in CO1. CO1 is just realtor speak for the downtown core. You can see the COVID dip here. We're currently at about a $760,000 average 1-bedroom price in the core versus the previous all-time high at $710,000. So $710 to $760, 7-8% price increase. But obviously a large recovery from the COVID dip. Now, when you zoom into specific areas and you look at the average condo selling price, now, disclaimer here, average isn't that great of an indicator because it can be skewed easily by high or low sales, that type of thing. I prefer median, but it's what we have to work with. Directionally, it can be interesting to show where things are. So if you look at CO1, we're seeing a 4% increase from January of 2020 to January of 2022. Now, some buildings, some listings are seeing way more than a 4% increase. Others are not, but across the board on average, just average selling price, you're looking at 4%. CO8 is sort of Moss Park, Regent Park area, 0.8%. W01 is High Park, Roncy, Bloor West, 19%. W06 is Mimico, Humber Bay, Toronto's Miami. You're looking at 26%. And again, that just goes to show, pre-COVID, it was way more affordable than downtown. Now it's roughly the same on an average price basis because people are looking for more green space, that kind of thing. But again, it just goes to show that, in my opinion, there's a huge runway for downtown condos because we're seeing such market dislocation right now. W08 is Islington City Center, Kipling Station, Islington Station, the East Mall, 21%. Vaughan, Markham, and Mississauga all up almost 30% on the year for condo average selling price. Months of inventory, one of my favorite indicators. If you follow me, you know that. It basically tells you if you're in a buyer's or seller's market. Anything below 3 months of inventory is a seller's market. Anything below 2 months of inventory is a very strong seller's market. Between 3 and 5 months of inventory, balanced market, and 5+ months of inventory is a buyer's market where you're probably going to see price decreases. Condos, for the first time in a long time, are below the freehold property months of inventory, meaning condos are actually the hotter segment right now. They're at 0.8 months of inventory and freeholds at 1 month of inventory, with a recent uptick in both segments because we're seeing more inventory come on market, which is normal for this type of year. Seasonality, right? As you enter the spring market, you start to see more listings. But what you'll notice if you follow a lot of us realtors on Twitter is a lot of us are talking about the fact that a lot of freehold offer dates have come and gone with no offers, and then the freehold property gets relisted at the price they actually wanted rather than underlisting and hoping for a bidding war. Now that's a recent thing that we're seeing, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, right? And 2 or 3 weeks doesn't make a trend. So the question is that just a quick pause before we resume to the crazy market that we were at for the past year and a half? Or is that a trend we're going to continue to see? Are we going to continue to see more inventory come to market? Time will definitely tell, but we're not really seeing that slowdown in the condo market. And it's not across the board. Like, this is a recent listing in Waterdown, your standard 50-foot builder, subdivision family style home, sold for $2.125 million. It was listed for $1.17. And so it's not across the board that you're seeing freehold slow down. Still, some listings are selling for crazy valuations. I have to question when I see things like this. Who's paying $2 million to live in a cookie cutter home in Waterdown? And I get a pass on making fun of neighborhoods. All right, I lived in Hamilton. I get that pass there. You can buy in Alderwood a similar sized home for marginally more money, 5-10% more. What's really interesting is like the location premium that we're seeing is just not there these days, right? Oshawa, Whitby, Waterdown, like they're selling for almost the same price as areas in Toronto, like Alderwood, that kind of thing, which is really interesting to me. It's something that I think we're definitely going to see correct over a longer period of time. As people continue to return to work, continue to return to the office, students, come back downtown, I would bet we're going to see things start to kind of correct a little bit. And look, return to office isn't the only reason people like urban living over suburban living. Like if you're raising kids, obviously suburbs are great, but there's a lot more to urban living than just living near your office. Obviously, the last 2 years have been an incredible bull run for areas like Waterdown, Guelph and Waterloo, like all these sort of Oshawa, Whitby, all these exurbs markets. But I think we're going to see a correction. Obviously, land scarcity is more prevalent downtown Toronto, so I think it's only a matter of time before that corrects. They've had their 2-year bull run. They've been stomping around the playground saying all kinds of childish things like Scatterbush is better than Buka, and the Keg is just as good as Jacobs, which of course we all know to be false. But jokes aside, there are a lot of reasons why people want to live downtown rather than just being close to the office. List versus sale price. So this yellow line here just shows the percentage of the sold price versus the list price. So obviously, if a listing sells for $1.1 million, it was listed for $1 million. That's 110% list for sale price. You can see here Vaughan detached kind of plateauing around 110 to 115%. Toronto detached hovering around that 115, 120%. What's interesting, the most interesting chart here to me is the Toronto Condo chart. Kind of see we were hovering between 100 and 105% of listing price over the past year. But then you enter this year and you notice the line is just directly up and to the right. No sort of slowdown in sight for condos yet. They just continue to break per square foot records on a weekly basis at this point. Now let's get into some specific examples. So like I said, the downtown core is starting to improve a lot, but condos outside of the core are doing incredibly well as well. This is a unit in North York, a 2-bed, 2-bath unit. This one's 707 square feet, sold for $988,888. Same unit sold on the 21st floor last year for $733,888. So it's up $255K or 34% in 1 year. Here's a listing in Square One. This is a one and done in Square One with parking, 556 square feet, listed for $600K, sold for $780,000. That puts this unit at $1,400 a foot, $1,400 per square foot in Square One. What's crazy about that number to me is that you can buy a similar sized unit with parking in Liberty Village in Fort York. There's almost no discount for buying in Square One over those areas right now. And again, that's a market dislocation. Over time, that will, in my opinion, that should correct. This here's the same unit, but facing north. So exact same floor plan, 556 square, sold for $550K in January of last year. So you're looking at not $230,000 price increase in 1 year or 41% price increase in 1 year period on this condo in Square One. Here's one at Yonge and Egg. So we're moving kind of to Toronto proper now. You have a 466 square foot 1-bedroom, no parking, sold for $742,000. That puts this at almost $1,600 a square foot at Yonge and Egg. Same unit on the 47th floor, so much higher floor, sold for $565,000 in February of last year. So 31% increase on the year. This unit I don't have a comparable for because it's kind of one of a kind. This is the floor plan as it was marketed by the builder, but these particular buyers, or now sellers, actually removed this second bedroom. So they just got rid of these walls, added a ton of upgrades. You can see the flooring, you can see the built-ins, really nice finishes. Actually, I pulled this one up, so I'll just show it to you right here. This one has a great lake view, 744 square feet, deleted the second bedroom, just made a huge living and dining area. But regardless, this is a one bedroom with a lake view, but a one bedroom nonetheless that sold for $1.2 million at the new PR27 Tower. A couple of final examples here. You got 125 Peter Street, Tableau. This one is 480 square foot, one bedroom, nice layout, no parking. Sold for $720,000, putting it at $1,500 a square. And you can see the history of the 10 unit here. So these are all the same floor plan. You can see the history of the sale price. Going back to January of 2019, $504K. So it's up, $220,000 over $215,000 over the span of 3 years. Here's one at Young College, YC Condos, $1,471 a square foot, 488 square foot, one in den, no parking. And just to touch on the rental market a little bit. So rental rates are increasing across the board. We're seeing, rental price growth pretty much everywhere, but Toronto is doing the best. So ignore the average price. It's not as indicative of where things are at. I prefer to look at the average rent per square foot because it's not skewed as easily by large and small leases. You can see that Toronto's gone from an average in the past year of $3.12 a foot to $3.67 a square foot. So, 15% increase in rental rate across the board. And the other markets are doing pretty good too, but not seeing as rapid price growth in the rental market as Toronto. So not only are rental prices in Toronto recovering, but they're making up for a little bit on top as well. So the market's probably, that's indicative of people coming back to the city, students being back in the city. So rental rates are probably poised to continue to increase for the rest of the year. That's it for this video, guys. If you like this type of content, like and subscribe. If you want to book a call with me to talk about investing in pre-construction condos, you can do that at precondo.ca/call. And I will see you guys next video.